All right. Brew some coffee, pour a cup. It's time for some more coffee talk.
It's Baschamania! Let me tell you something, brother. He gave us everything he had in him tonight. What you gonna do when Baschamania runs wild on you? Oh, it's gonna be a good one. And business just picked up here on the podcast. Oh, yeah.
It's a midweek coffee talk. How are you, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Stressful day, got a headache. What I honestly need is where you just came from, sauna. I need to sit in a sauna for 20 minutes.
It's good, man. It's a little, after practice sweat. Never hurts.
How's practice?
Feels good. Oh, the usual. We get in there and get after it. Lots of dodgeball today.
Are you excited? 8 days you return, January 29th, you McFadden.
Yeah, I'm excited. I don't really have much to say about it. I'm just gonna go have fun with it. That's really.
He got a 7-4 win last night over Evan Wick.
I watched it. I'm huge into scouting and watching film on people. That's what I do most of the time.
Right.
Actually. No, it was a weird match, and Dave even said that afterwards. He was like, "Yeah, it was like some of those calls were kind of shitty," which, I think there were, but
yeah,
I thought both guys wrestled pretty well. I think he looked a little better than he did against Dake.
He looked timid against Dake. He looked like he was more himself last night.
Mm-hmm. I think so also.
I don't know if Dake was in his head. I don't know if, Dake's, anytime you're going against a guy like
Dake's
Dake.
probably in most guys' heads. Kyle Dake's in most guys' heads, I would say.
Especially after he's rock bottoming people.
Yeah, I don't. That was funny. He goes, "Can you smell?"
Did you watch pro wrestling growing up?
A tad, not a ton of it. My parents didn't love it.
I was obsessed.
Really? No, I never got like that. I actually learned more about pro wrestling when I came to college.
Why?
Funny enough, there was a kid. Well, one of my classmates, like freshman year, watched it all the time. He would watch, Monday Night Raw, whatever.
Yeah.
All the time. So he would have it on, and we would watch it occasionally. And he would buy all the WrestleManias and stuff. So all right, if it's on, it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Also, speaking good stuff, Coffee Talk merch is out.
That's great stuff. That's not even good stuff.
Yeah, that's if you're living under a rock. We put out a Coffee Talk mug T-shirt yesterday, and a Coffee Talk mug. I had a couple people that were looking for
fire.
Yeah, I love them. I had a couple people that were looking for hoodies, and I said I'm all for it, but let's start with a tee. Don't want to get greedy and put out
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Don't want to put out 50 items. Just
you don't. Yeah, you got to take it slow with that. We'll sell some shirts, and so I think the coffee mugs are sick. Who else sells coffee mugs?
Especially for Coffee Talk, it's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here?
And I think we've actually sold more mugs than T-shirts so far.
Oh really? That's funny.
Yeah. But, I'm kind of not surprised. I love seeing the response. For anybody who wanted to know the backstory, I told Cenzo we should put him out. I want to put some money in his pocket. So I figured how better than, we put a lot of time and energy into the show. So I think a shirt, a mug is a fun way to support it. It's pretty easy. Everybody needs T-shirts. If you're a wrestler, you need a shirt. You want to walk into the wrestling room for practice in a Coffee Talk shirt.
One of my things now that I like doing and is, I'm just wearing an NLWC shirt right now, but I like to wear different people's clothes and stuff and rock it on the show. Hey, look at this. I got mock shirt. I got my Zane Train hat on right now.
I had a long sleeve on, and I actually put this in my office because I forget since I got it that I have it and I want to wear it, but it is here. But yeah, Coffee Talk shirts are available. Go to Baschamania.com. Mugs ship out, I think, Monday or Tuesday. Shirts probably next week is too. They're both a pre-order, but they should both be shipping out next week. So go to Baschamania.com/shop. You can buy those. There's also a lot of talk right now. I think personally, humbly, I started it because nobody was talking about the Olympic trials and the World Championships.
I really think you started that too because it's starting to blow up a lot more. And
the last 2 days, I've seen nothing but that now, which I'm glad to do. That's what I wanted to do.
And you texted me about it, like, I don't know, a week ago or so. And like, hey, like, we need to talk about these guys, you know, who's, you know, qualified, who's not qualified. I'm not qualified. I know that. And just, it's a big thing. It's a pretty huge topic of conversation too, because it's every 4 years. Well, in this case, it's a little different, but every 4 years, the biggest qualifier, you know, of the year, and it's hard to get a spot in that for that. It really, really is.
Yeah, and that's why people are always asking me, you know, who's qualified, and whether in conversation or on Instagram. So I put the article out on Rockfin, who's qualified and who's not. It got more, which we'll talk about. It also got interesting because this kid John Kozak tweeted me yesterday saying that USA Wrestling did release the World Team Trial qualifying procedures, which really got me thinking even more because this year is so unique. It looks like we're going to have the Olympic trials like April 9th and 10th. And then like 2 weeks later, we have the US Open where the top 5 will qualify for the World Team Trials.
Okay.
So we're going to have a US Open late April.
Why don't they wait till after the Olympics?
So here's the thing. Here's the schedule. NCAA is mid-March. Last chance Olympic qualifier a couple weeks later in March. Then the Olympic trials. Then the US Open. Then you have a last chance World Team Trials qualification tournament in July. Olympics August 1st. September 3rd is the World Team Trials. And then October 2nd, I believe, is the World Championships. So you have to do the U.S. Open and the last chance before the Olympics because right after, really, are the World Team Trials, which really caught my attention because I'm assuming what's going to happen is if you don't make the Olympic team April 9th, a lot of guys on April 11th are going up or down.
Oh, yeah.
Because the U.S. Open's full 10 weights, World Championships this year's full 10 weights.
Well, some guys will probably try to hold that weight too.
Well, and that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. You know, getting to Olympic weights for some guys is harder than others, and some guys shrink their bodies, some guys grow to their bodies. Do you think it's going to be easy for guys to go back? Like, let's say a James Green, who's probably going to go 70.
That's who I was just thinking of. So if I'm James Green and I put all this work into just changing my body, I feel good. You know, I'm small. If I don't make the Olympic team, maybe stay down, right? If he's not killing himself to make it, you know, if he can make it comfortably and he's put all that work in, stay down. But you know, if it's absolutely just terrible every time he has to make weight and just, you know, even if his body is the smallest he can get and he still has to cut a bunch, then I would definitely go up.
Well, the other interesting thing too, and I don't know how you guys as athletes look at it, but take a look at like guys like you and Nolf. You have world and Olympic champions in your weight, guys like Burroughs and Dake. Would you consider going up or down?
No.
Because less resistance, or is once you pick a weight, you're just going to stay there and that's that?
I firmly believe that you compete at the weight that you feel the best at.
Yep.
I don't think it should matter who else is there.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, you know, easier said than done because like you just said, there's two, you know, world champs at our weight, and me and Jason, you know, practice partners being at the same weight's a little.
Well, and I thought different. He wanted to go up naturally.
He changed his mind all the time.
Yeah, at one point, I remember talking to him like one of the most serious conversations we have like serious conversations, but one of them was after maybe it was the Open 2 years ago when he lost to James Green, I think. And he had said like he did not, that was like one of the first times he was really distracted by watching his weight, and he hated it.
He was resting 70 kilos.
Yeah.
He won't see that ever again.
Right. No, and he hated it. And he had said, like, I remember joking with him one day when I go, dude, you're looking like a 79, 86 kilo guy. And he's like, it feels right, or something like that.
Yeah.
So you never know too where guys are going to go. But do you think that it's going to be a quick turnaround from a weight standpoint for guys who are going to go the non-Olympic weights?
Yeah, I mean, so I that's a guy I could see going up
Yep.
too. He has the frame for it. Yeah, I think it'll just depend on the person. You know, some people like wrestling like down a weight. Some people don't. I personally feel better whenever I get a little weight off before I wrestle. Bo Nickel doesn't want to cut any weight.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think people are different, and you know, everyone has a preference really.
Bo didn't really want to put on weight either. You know, Bo just wants to be at his weight and just compete.
And that's where he's at his best, though.
Yep, agreed.
So I mean, like he does it for a reason. But it's just, yeah, it's depending on the person. I think that's kind of wild with World Team Trials coming right after. People are going to be jumping all over the place.
It's nuts, and it's quick because if you look at
turnaround.
You look at, I want to say it's like April 9th and 10th, and then they didn't say a date or a location yet. They just said April 2021 U.S. Open. Top 5 at the U.S. Open qualify for the World Team Trials.
Maybe I'll go down a weight class.
I think you're going to see like some drastic changes right away with people, because there's a lot of guys that are like,
who do you think, who's not making the Olympic team that's going to change weights?
I think James Green's not going to make the team Olympics. I think he'll go. That's kind of an obvious one. Seth Gross never surprises me when he wins, but he's in a deep weight. If he doesn't make the Olympic team at 57, if he doesn't make the team at 57, I could see him going 61.
I mean, I'm going to stop myself. I feel like it's a bit almost redundant just saying weights are stacked for the Olympic trials, because they all are. So we really don't need to go into.
They are, and
every single one is. Yeah,
they are. And if you like, I put out that article on Rockfin about who's qualified, and I started looking at from a standpoint of like who I'm maybe the most excited about. Like, and I just hypothetically put 2 guys in the finals in my mind and said like, what finals?
Right.
Really, every single one's a barn burner. Like if you just put the 1 and 2 seed against each other, it's just stupid at every weight. The only weights,
you don't even need to get to that, like quarterfinals, first round match.
Right, opening rounds.
Yeah.
And we have 2 more tournaments, last chance qualifier, and the NCAAs where more guys will qualify. Already it's nuts. You know, for the guys not qualified, 97 kilos in heavyweight are kind of, I don't see anybody in there that is really going to get in and maybe break the bracket. Yeah. But from 57 to 86, it's nuts. The guys not qualified at 57 and 65, your weight 74, and I personally think 86 is the dumbest. Like I think the guys at 86 are the most, like, I think Mark Hall is one of the biggest guys not qualified who has the most credentials. Like he's a junior world champ, NCAA champ. Like we were texting about it where I said like I think he could do stuff 86 kilos.
Oh no, you came in hot.
I said if he made the Olympics team, I would not be surprised. But that was also just after he was on the podcast. I'm drinking the Mark Hall Kool-Aid, like, but it like Mark Hall is a guy who anytime I've seen him lose, I'm surprised he loses. Mark Hall is very, very rarely the underdog. He's, if anything, he's usually like 1-2, like it's him and Zahid wrestling. where it's like, okay, it's a 1-2. It's never like a 1-4 and marks the 4.
Right. And like I think there's two guys really. Obviously, I'm biased towards my teammates, and that I just can never see them losing. It's him and Zane. Like anytime they go out to wrestle, I'm like, I don't. And if they do, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Yep. And I get mad too. I get mad like if any of my guys lose, I know they shouldn't. Like I'll see like when Zane got stuck last year overseas, like I was bent out of shape about that for like 4 or 5 hours. I knew it shouldn't have happened. I think it was at Pan Am's.
Yeah.
I knew Zane was the better wrestler, bar none. Like it's frustrating. But yeah, Zane's another guy who 65 is just stupid at the trials.
Oh yeah.
Right now, Zane, Jo, McKenna, Nick Lee, Yanni, Nashon, James Green, and Ashnault are all the qualified guys. And you have guys like Andrew Aliras, Evan Henderson, and then there's guys like Pletcher's not qualified, Lugo, Ironman, like Bryce.
Lugo isn't even qualified either. Well,
no,
I think
Lugo's not. Pletcher's not.
If you can't tell, I'm a Lugo guy.
Yeah, if you've listened to Coffee Talk, you know that.
I just think he just wrestles hard, so I'm just kind of a supporter in that sense.
Well, and it's interesting because, like, if you look at 65, like, what two guys do you pick out of that
Zane
to qualify at Last Chance?
Oh, to qualify at Last Chance. I was thinking making the finals of the trial.
No, I'm just saying, like, you figure, like, Lugo, Ironman, Lezak, Dom Demas, Pletcher, Meredith, Dean Heil, Matt Kaladze, Yaya Thomas, Evan Henderson, Andrew Aliras. And Andrew Aliras at Senior Nationals last year beat Evan Henderson 5-1 in the finals, Yaya Thomas 7-1 in the semis, McKenna 6-4 in the quarters, and Mitch McKean round of 16.
How many people we saying from Last Chance too?
Just the top two.
Top two.
Now, guys like Andrew Aliras and Yaya Thomas, they could win NCAAs
right
and make it in. But Last Chance, just two. So, like, if a guy like Andrew Aliras doesn't win NCAAs,
he'll be at Last Chance. He's a big freestyle guy.
Yep. So, what two do you think make it out of that weight at the Last Chance?
I got to go with Hendo for sure. I think Hendo gets the job done. And I'm sticking with Lugo.
Lugo.
And it's going to be a toss-up between Lugo and Pletcher for me.
Yeah.
We saw them wrestle in the summer. I don't think it goes that way again. Next time they scrap, I think it'll be a super competitive match. But yeah, I got Hendo. Then I'm going to say Lugo just because he's been wrestling well lately.
Yeah.
I've been
I agree with that. 57 is wild too. Dylan Ragusin right now is like one of my favorite guys to watch. Like he's not qualified. I would say he's a front runner of mine at 57.
All right, who else we got?
Darian Cruz, Jack Mueller, Brody Teskey, Frank Pirelli, Nico. I don't think Nico will be back. I don't know.
If Nico's back, I got Nico.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be back. I talked to him. I can't remember what he said. Alan Waters, Zane Richards, Josh Rodriguez, Shelton Mack.
I got Darian and Josh.
I would love to see Josh make it. Josh is a really good wrestler. He's like underrated.
Yeah, if Josh is back and healthy. He's super underrated. He's a workhorse too, man.
Yeah, I like him. Super nice kid, underrated. I don't even know if we should talk 74 kilos. Like I'm biasly towards saying
I don't really feel a ton comfortable.
Yeah. I'll just say that I think you and Pantelio make it out of the Last Chance.
Okay.
That's what I think.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. 86 kilos is just stupid. Here's who's not qualified, and only two can qualify. Mark Hall, Nate Jackson, Aaron Brooks, Gabe Dean, Trent Hidley, David McFadden, Nick Heflin, Tim Dudley, Max Dean, CJ Brucky, Taylor Lujan, Ben Hannes.
All right. Well, we're going to see a national champ out of that group.
Like
the college guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Between like Aaron and Trent or one of those guys.
But then the other one is going to the last chance, which is wild.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who could potentially be the NCAA champ without question. And the loser, the runner-up of that weight, will likely be at the last chance.
Yeah. That's just the way it works out. And, last year the plan for me was to win nationals. And then if that didn't happen, I was running the last chance too.
Yeah.
But shoot, man.
By the way, that's the other thing. With all these guys, I didn't put too many NCAA guys, like Andrew Liras, Yaya Thomas, Aaron Brooks, Sean Hatley. Like, there's definitely NCAA guys, but it's not like.
Can you read the senior guys on that list one more time?
Mark Hall, Nate Jackson, Gabe Dean, McFadden, Heflin.
McFadden's going down.
Is he? Oh, that's right. He's going 74.
Yeah,
I gotta remember that. That's right. Brucky, and I think Taylor Lujan's still in college.
Heflin, the dark horse, man.
Always the dark horse.
He's a dog. Oh, I don't know. Definitely got Mark. I definitely got my man Mark.
Correct. Assume Mark wins and he's in. He beats in the finals.
It got to be Gabe Dean or Nate, right? I mean,
but here's the thing.
Heflin too.
Here's the thing that's interesting about this. We don't know how they're going to seed it. So imagine Mark Hall beats Gabe Dean in the semis. And now somebody out of the bottom side qualifies. You know what I mean? Like, who knows how this thing's going to be seeded?
This will be a time where seeding will be a factor.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think I can say who I think makes it out of there until I see how the seeds impact it.
I'm going to go Mark and I kind of want to go Nick Heflin. I haven't. Is he wrestling still? I haven't
seen him. Yeah, I put him in there because he's one of those guys that will just like randomly start showing up in wrestling.
And
so
just chest lock the crap out of everybody.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah.
Monster.
Gabe Dean and Nate Jackson stick out. I'm Penn State. I'm a Penn State homer, so I'm gonna say Aaron Brooks wins NCAAs, gets in through NCAAs. So in my head, I'm taking him out of the equation for that, and then I'm going like. I say Gabe Dean.
Yeah. He's just wrestling good now. He's wrestling well.
My gut tells me it's going to be Mark Hall and Nate in the semis for some reason.
Well, I mean, we'll get a preview of that Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah, Penn RTC hosting an event on Rockfin next Friday. Make sure you check it out.
Yeah, go subscribe. If you're not subscribed to Rockfin, I don't know what you're doing yet. I mean, you should.
That essentially just is wrestling right now. So
yeah, everything's
coming out with some good content.
And I've heard rumors from multiple people of an NLWC card. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah. I was texting with the Nittany Lion today. I'll tell you offline who it was.
Okay.
That they were mentioning. So
we're cooking some stuff up that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm stupid excited for that. So yeah, Rockfin, that's going to be a great card. I can't wait to see the rest of the matches. I was talking to Slay about it, trying to see who would be a good opponent for McKenna. Seems like they were trying to go after Bajrang and were unable to secure him, unfortunately. But I think one way or another, McKenna's going to on the card. You and McFadden, Hall and Nate Jackson. It's going to be a good card. Did I lose you there? All of a sudden, I just went.
Yeah.
Froze.
Yeah, you were frozen. You were frozen for a minute there.
We'll edit that out. So let me ask you this now. I think we're going to say the same person, but of everybody not qualified for the trials, who do you think is the biggest threat to everybody qualified?
I mean, probably Mark, right?
That's yeah.
He's so savvy. He just his positioning and just his like body awareness.
And what got me after we talked to him is, and people are tweeting about this, it seems like he's just like, it's that age old thing of a change of scenery. Even if nothing's wrong with your current scenery, it's a change of scenery,
Right.
kind of like breathes new life in you. I think that's what's happening to him. You know, reuniting with Slay, just the change of scenery, a big city. I think that's going to rejuvenate him and just kind of that fresh scenery. And I think when you give that to a guy like Mark Hall, who is as talented and good as it gets, I think that's a dangerous guy on the mat.
And I know that all those guys that are at Penn now are loving it there too, and they all have a really good relationship, not just with the coaching staff but with each other.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to help all of them really just kind of flourish.
you can see that in Joey and Dave.
Yep.
I mean, it sucks that Dave's going to lose next week when he wrestles you, but you can see the good relationship they have, and you can see they yeah.
They're getting better, working on new stuff, and they have new people to like new other athletes that they can, pick their brain and stuff. And I was talking to Joey down in Lincoln, and I was like, yeah, man, I see, you're firing off some, stuff from the opposite side. And he goes, yeah, man, Marky's the best. Marky's awesome. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I guess Mark's your coach or something now, but that dude has a brain for wrestling. Oh my gosh.
Who, Joey or Mark?
Joey does too, but Mark Hall, yeah, it's just.
You can sense that, like, even with him doing his baby steps thing on Sunday nights, where he's like trying to help coach a little bit and just kind of give insight. Like, you can tell he's got a brain for the sport.
Yeah, he could just see things, and he helped me a lot too, just with my position, things like that. Like, I knew that if I would take a shot, I'd wrestled with him all the time, and if my shoulder's an inch out of place, I'm not finishing, just like stuff like that. So.
Out of all your teammates, if you had to pick someone who you think is going to be the most successful D1 head coach in the future, what does your brain go to right away?
If Zane wants to be a head coach, if he wants that,
yeah,
he'll be great at it. I don't know, man. Mark would be good too. David wasn't on my team, but I think he would be, really good running a program.
Yeah, you can see Dave's love right now for M2. Like, you can see it. I think when you're talking 20 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, I think the Cal Sanderson coaching tree is going to be just insane.
Yeah, I think it definitely has potential for that. We have a lot of guys who are just passionate about it too, and we want to make wrestling better, and like that's just part of our goal is to help whoever just spread whatever knowledge that we have to, and a lot of us want to go into coaching for that reason.
Yeah, and the only ones that I would say that I see not wanting to go into coaching, I would say they don't want to go into coaching yet. Like a guy like Bo, who wants to have a long MMA career, but I could still see him potentially, like just like Daniel Cormier. Like now that Cormier is done fighting, he's right back coaching a wrestling team. Like that's what I could see Bo doing.
I think Bo would be a great coach also.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think he has his own business to take care of for a little while first, which us, I'm all behind that.
Yeah, no, for sure. By the way, have you? I was actually texting him just when we were on with who's just on with us, not Hall, Kassar, and the champ, and I was trying to get him on, but I think he was at brunch or something. But I was trying to get him on last second. But yeah, his heart to coach others. And to make and a lot of you guys at Penn State, I know Nolf really has a heart to try to help other people too. But
might take you a minute to realize it, but he does.
Well, he just wants to golf first.
Yes. Yeah. He got to go play 18 first, and then.
Have you ever golfed with him?
No, but I want to.
So I had an idea that didn't come to fruition. When I was with Scrap Life, I had said that we should do a weekly vlog or a weekly YouTube series called Golf with Nolf.
Well,
who wouldn't watch that? Like, and every week you have like a different person golfing with Nolf.
So here's the thing. Like, it's NOWC has Rockfin now, and we have a lot of people working on ideas, and it's just snowing outside, so we haven't been able to do that yet.
Yeah, golf with Nolf. I've been telling him too. Like, I tell him to go live. I tell him to post stuff, but the only time we ever see Nolf golf footage is when Maddie shares something. When he sends Maddie a video, then she shares it. That's the only time we get golf with Nolf content.
He's pretty good too. So
yeah, he is.
Would be an interesting round.
Going back to Bo for a second, when he opens up the gym in a couple months, do you see yourself training there at all?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Doing what?
Everything.
Like, you want to do jiu-jitsu? You want to spar? You want to box?
Yep. Yeah.
Just everything?
Everything.
Would you ever go into MMA?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
This is breaking news. This is going to be on ESPN tomorrow.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I've considered it. You know, I'll dabble here and there. I like just, getting my feet wet with other stuff. I think it's fun.
What would it take to get you, if somebody made an offer to give you like a contract? What would it take you? Like, would it take a couple fights? What would it take you to really get you to commit to MMA?
Oh yeah, I mean, fully commit. I would just have to make the decision. I would have to be a part where I'm not probably like loving wrestling a ton, and then I would probably just make a decision based on that. But I'm not really thinking too much about that right now, though. Just right now I'm wrestling, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, you got a lot of wrestling left. Look at him.
Mighty Matt, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
Just chilling, drinking a little water talk right now because it's 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, that's a little different than coffee talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, water and wine. PM coffee talk looks a little bit different, but I'm glad you're able to hop on, man. We're always DMing and we never able to like make the time work. But so I'm assuming you just got to practice. Are you still there?
I'm still in practice. I'm in our little conference room right now.
Oh wow,
so dedicated. Didn't practice end 40 minutes ago?
We just got out of here. The guys just left, and I was waiting outside the coach's office when I got your DM. So
yes.
So
worked out.
Just in general, how's life?
Life as in the school, or life
the
as in
the school.
Wow, pun intended there.
Unintended, huh? Life is great right now. Actually, we're getting ready for conference coming up here in February. The guys look good. They're ranked number 2 in NAI right now.
Oh, let's go.
We're actually coming for Eric Thompson's team, Grandview. So we're getting excited. We have a solid team this year.
Nice. How do you guys, match up against them?
I think we match up well. They have a lot of tough guys. Obviously, they win almost every year.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're like Penn State.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I know how people feel like wrestling Penn State now. Like, we just want, like, I want to beat them bad.
It's great.
Yeah, it's cool, but I really want to beat them.
So, okay. So like now, like you're kind of on the other side. You're kind of on the Ohio State side of things.
Well. Don't put me there.
I'm just saying, like, it's pretty much the same sort of comparison now.
Whatever you do, don't let Flo in your room the night of the tournament.
Yeah.
Are you excited to go down as the potential to be the best second place team of all time? Are you excited for
that? That is brutal, huh?
No. So, the year, what year was that? Nolf got hurt, 2018. Yep. We were talking about this last week. We need to have Tom on so he can.
Did he do the stats? I saw he answered the call.
I'm sure he did. I'll text him, but like just to show that I had probably 100 more takedowns than Anthony that year. But
So-
yeah, like Flo posted like best second place team of all time for like a week after. It was like, cool guys. Like I'm sure
They
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I'm sure Ohio State was like, what the heck?
And Flo
They
didn't
were-
realize they were doing it. Like, are they the best second place finishing team ever? I was like, do you know what you're saying? Yeah.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
That's brutal, but they were good. I mean,
Oh yeah, they were real good. We were just real gooder.
we're a lot real gooder.
we were just real gooder.
Matt, is there a shot you come out of retirement and come to the last chance qualifier in March?
There is about zero chance I ever put on a singlet again.
At least give us
Oh.
like 60%
Not
for
even
like the
put on a
clickbait.
Well, I mean, no, there's no chance. As fun as it would be, I don't train like I used to, and I'd look like a muffin top in a singlet.
What went into the decision of not wanting to compete after college?
I think, well, originally I was talking about leaving my fourth year, and I kind of sat down with the coaches and they talked to me about it, and they convinced me it was in my best interest to stay, and I agreed with them, and it was. I mean, I loved my fifth year, but I have a passion for chiropractic now, and I
get
think
adjusted weekly. I have the same
I-
passion.
good.
My neck
I love
hurts.
it. Yeah. See, I need to be back there taking care of those guys,
Mhm.
which is my ultimate goal.
Is that what you want
So-
to do? You want to get back to state college?
Right. Yeah. So I graduate in December of next year. My goal is to get back there and hopefully start my own practice or jump in with another person that's up there. That's yet to be decided, but I ultimately want to be taking care of the athletes as well. So we'll see where it goes.
That would be sick.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back with my buds.
Yeah, and that fifth year that you took, things didn't go, a ton. Like it didn't go super well. I guess you kind of got hurt, but you said you got a lot out of it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I had to wrestle off with Shakur and Anthony, which arguably two of the best guys in the country.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was tough, but I mean, it was an amazing year, and I would not give it back. So definitely a good choice. Wish I could have wrestled a little more,
Yeah.
but
I just
whatever.
remember like you're getting your shoulder done, and you got a dad. You're like, how come Cenzo doesn't have to get his done, but I do?
Right.
And you're like, he was like,
Exactly.
well, like you tore your bicep too, like he did it. And
Yeah.
it was,
But another cool thing is I got to go be a bullpen catcher for the baseball team that year. So
That was super cool. I remember seeing that and I'm like, wait, what? Like that's real? That was sick.
what?
yeah, I mean,
What's more enjoyable, drilling with me or catching in the bullpen?
nothing compares to drilling with you, Cenzo. Except when you would sprawl on me and give me those hips and I get the stingers in my shoulder. That's miserable.
Yeah, and I started feeling that a ton last year.
Yeah.
I would get the stingers all the time. So
Oh, those are
I know how it
brutal.
feels.
Yeah. So what were you guys talking about before I hopped on?
We were talking about this year being interesting with you have the Olympic trials. 2 weeks later, you have US Open with 10 weights. And then you have last chance to qualify for the World Team Trials in July, Olympics in August, and then you had the World Team Trials in September, World Championships in October. So the bulk of what we were talking about is the guys, number one, not qualified for the trials right now. Who could make the biggest threat?
And I'm gonna switch my picks at 86 kilos.
Wow.
I'm gonna stay with Mark Hall for a pick, but if we get Muffin Top in a singlet, can you make 189, Matt?
I mean, I could make 189.
I'm sure you can. I
But
hope-
that would be
I hope you
Yes.
get 189. All right, so
I-
189, last chance qualifier. I'll see you there.
We'll even
Oh.
provide the Baschamania singlet. Baschamania singlet provided.
Oh, I love that.
We'll
Well, last
outfit
time-
you. We'll sponsor your Olympic run.
Oh, that's amazing. You're real. You're trying to make me cut down to 189. Huh?
100%. It's about the journey, not the
I mean,
destination.
That is awesome.
Dude, if you come out, listen, 86 kilos. I mean, shoot, you can go 97 if you really want to. That just doesn't sound fun.
That's a little big for me.
Yeah. Baschamania singlet. We'll get you all the coffee talk shirts that you want.
Yep.
I love it.
All the
That's
coffee talk
amazing.
shirts that you want. We'll coach you up out there and everything. We'll make sure you're ready to go.
All right. Well, I mean, Mark was wrestling last year, and I came up there before his match, and it was Friday, and I got to roll around with him. And I mean, you can ask him, but I think I gave him the business still.
Dude, you still got it. I know you do.
Listen, after Gabe Dean came out of retirement, now I know it's possible.
If he can do it, you can.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Like he came
Right.
out of retirement looking better than if he would have just kept competing after college. He looked better having retired for a couple years.
And
Yeah.
I've realized for me, I get better every time I take a break.
No, I agree. I think I have gotten better mentally, but not physically. with wrestling.
Mentally.
There's a difference between competing or taking a break or retiring at Cornell and training the whole time, and me being on the mat once or twice, maybe 3 times a week
I don't think so.
right now.
I don't think
I mean,
it is.
I'm in class the majority of the day. So, but
Speaking of training, talking about Peyton.
Peyton, she is going to be, I think she's going to be one of the stars coming up. She picks up on things like the best of I've ever seen. I mean, I've been around obviously some of the best in the world, and when you show her something, she grabs it like all the guys up at Penn State would, which is,
It takes me a
I
few
mean,
times.
I mean, yeah, I'd say you get it pretty quickly too, but
Takes me a few
it's pretty
tries.
cool to see. I'm trying to get her on a card here soon, so hopefully everybody will get to
Let's do it.
see how good she is. But
Hit up the big guy.
I've hit the big guy up. Well, I've hit the little big guy up a couple of times.
The real big guy.
Yeah.
The real big guy.
Do you need an intro? I'll send a group chat.
Yes, but she hopefully she gets drafted here.
Ooh, Captain's Cup.
Yeah, so I'm hoping she gets drafted so she gets to wrestle some of the top girls in the country, and we get to see where she's at. But she's only a freshman right now, so I mean it's really cool and exciting for her. But at the same time, I think she's up there with the best of them.
I think she's got a lot of brand potential. I think she's got that it factor. I think she's got the technique. I think she's got like you said, she's only a freshman. And already people are starting to know her name. And I think especially on the women's side of the sport that's still growing so much, if your name is one of the ones that's really out there, I think that's just a lot about your brand potential.
Right, exactly. And I'm new to the brand building. I feel like when I went through Penn State, it was like stay off social media because it's bad. But I feel like more people are opening up to building their brand as they're going through college. So I'm learning and I'm trying to coach our guys through that. And I'm in Peyton's ear a little bit about it too now. And I know I was asking you questions about it, what she should be doing and stuff like that. But it's a new thing that people need to jump on the train with, because you can get out of college and set yourself up for success right away.
And I think you're seeing where even guys like Cal, who are historically social media is more bad than good, you see him on it promoting Rockfin events and promoting NLWC events, and that's using it for the good. You know, Cal's not using it to convey personal thoughts. Like, you can use social, and I think it's becoming the way society's going, the way technology's going. You're going to see it almost as a prerequisite more, you know, whether it's to promote something, whether right now the NCAA is getting ready to roll out the name, image, and likeness bill, where these athletes can get paid. Before it wasn't a possibility. Now it's like you can get paid, you can start building your brand, and where wrestling has historically failed in that athletes haven't made a ton of money off their brand after they graduate. Now that could potentially change if you're building that brand and then kind of building that pie to capitalize once you're ready. Because even the athletes now, they'd say, well, I'll start doing that when I'm eligible for brand deals and sponsorship deals. Well, great. But if you have 100,000 followers versus 10 or 30,000 followers versus 3,000 followers, your worth to a brand is going to be more. Same with engagement levels. You have athletes that have really high follower counts, but their engagement's really low. And now because you can buy followers,
because they buy their followers.
Correct.
Yeah, they buy them.
You can buy your followers and everything else, and brands aren't dumb. So they're coming and saying like, well, what's your actual engagement rate like? We're going to pay you X amount per like, per comment. Because you can fake the number of followers you have. It's very, very hard to fake engagement. So even if you build up a big audience, how much do you communicate with that audience? That's what a lot of these brands are going to start looking at moving forward. So, I think it's a combination of even people who are historically against it are starting to come around because they're seeing it's a necessary evil, whether it's to promote an event, whether it's to get a brand deal and ease the burden of training, whatever it may be. It's almost a prerequisite for athletes moving forward.
It's just, yeah, I mean, and I feel like it's harder for guys like me who just, I mean, yeah, I have Instagram, I post stuff. I'm not hyping myself up. Yeah, I'm sick, like, I think that's so lame. But I think I'm not going to start doing that. Like maybe someday, like if whatever down the road, but like, I'm not going to just start like pumping myself up. Like, it's just, I understand that like it's good to do and you kind of need that, but for me that's just something else like in my head that I need to worry about. Like for me, like I'm worried about practicing, worried about getting better, worried about putting right things in my body, making sure I feel good, and I'm worried about competing. I don't need to worry about what Joe Schmo is commenting on my picture from I don't know wherever. Like it's I don't know. It's just like it's two different things. Like, yes, I agree that it's good like now when you're young to get into it, but like it's not for everyone.
Well, and we had this conversation on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and I was telling Matt kind of the same thing I was talking about on the podcast, which is, there's a lot of different ways to use it. And if somebody's saying, hey, how can they start building their brand more? First of all, social media is not for everyone. But if you want to, there's a lot of power in just communicating, just telling people what you're doing. And that's what sparked the conversation for us. Was I was like frustrated as a marketer and as a fan that all these athletes were going to France, first international competition, and I don't know how long. And nobody kind of said anything until USA Wrestling put it out. And I said, it's an opportunity for athletes to say, hey guys, here's what I'm up to. And, for a guy like Cenzo who stays at the same level he is with social, that's fine. My bigger beef was guys who are like, buy my shirt, buy my shirt, buy my shirt, go to my camp, go to my camp, go to my camp. You're asking a lot from your followers and you're not giving something as little as, hey guys, so excited to let you know I'm competing in 2 weeks. Wrestling needs more promotion. And unfortunately right now, the general sport doesn't do a great job of promoting it, which is like, I'm trying to help, even putting out articles on Rockfin and talking about stuff on the podcast. And I can't believe the number of messages I get from people that are like, really? I didn't know that. And I told Cenzo, I'm like, it sucks that you kind of have to promote yourself more than you should. But I think, I wouldn't even go as far as to say like hyping yourself up. I think if there was just more communication, your fans are going to hype you up. Your fans are going to boo and cheer and whatever. But I think
we like the boos. If you're getting booed, you're doing something right.
I think Kurt Angle said that he loved being booed and chanted at "you suck" more than anything. He said he knew he was engaging, he didn't care. But I think just if somebody does want to build their brand, and if someone's looking for what should I do, I think the first step is always communication. It's always communicate. Let your fans know what you're doing, when you're going to compete, as much as you can, without it being a distraction. There's also, I think a lot of people mix up posting content and consuming content. Like, I agree. I hate seeing like people say negative stuff about me. So like if somebody's saying you suck, you shouldn't be this, you're not going to make in the last chance, you're not going to like, I would lose my mind. I get that. But I think if you're just putting content out and not consuming it as much, that helps a bit.
Right. I think you're spot on. And when Cenzo, you say you don't like to get on there and do that much, but you see you all the time on Twitter just making smart little comments or funny things to fans, and it's just fan interaction, I think. And I think that's doing a good job of growing you. Yeah. So, I mean, even though you're not out there, just be like, I'm awesome. I just won this. Like, look at my trophies.
I'm gonna start posting shirtless pictures of myself. Like, I'm gonna start posting videos of me working out too.
Right.
Yeah,
That's good.
It'll be so dope. Yeah. Everyone that doesn't wrestle will see how cool I am.
Exactly.
Man. But yeah, I think anybody who, it all depends really too on what people want, because I know that anytime somebody comes to me, I never want them to get distracted. I always want them to do what's best for them. And I try to give advice on what they can do without getting distracted, or do as much as you feel comfortable with. And these are the things, whether it's communicating, whether it's engaging, you know, if I had tens of thousands of followers and I wanted to grow it more, I would just start responding to comments. People go nuts when you start engaging with people. Even if you tell them they suck, they can't believe they got a response.
All right, I'll start doing that.
They're like, oh my gosh, I was just kidding. Like, I love you. You're the best. Can I have an autograph?
Hey, I'll post an Instagram picture tonight, and the first person that I don't know that comments on it, I'm just gonna reply and say, "You suck."
And you've got a fan for life.
So the only thing I would post more, I don't like. Where do people go to get all these pictures of themselves? Like, I don't have any pictures of me.
There's a lot of people self-PRing themselves, which is a whole nother conversation. But like, you also have guys that are taking photographers with them and getting content.
I don't got it like that.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of effort. Like Roman's doing that right now. He's got more content, and he's sending me photos that aren't even out yet. Like, and I keep telling him, I'm like, look, I love what you're doing. Just make sure you stay focused. You want to be an NCAA World and Olympic champ.
He does stay focused.
Yeah, his thing, I think, is just he doesn't want to get bored.
Yeah, you know, I don't give him crap because he's like, you know, he was in there working out this morning. I saw him wrestling this morning. Like, he's not gonna stop, taking care of his business just to, support his social media more. So that's why for him, I'm just whatever. And that's how most of our guys are. But I know guys who, pump up their socials and, they don't put the work in. And
but
that's fine.
Cenzo, you remember when you used to post those pictures and be like, you'd be wrestling and you see like me in the background or something like that, like, and all the people that would interact like off of that. I think that stuff's like, that's marketing in itself, and it's fun.
Yes,
people
I agree.
Want authenticity. That's what they long for.
And that's like, I'm gonna be authentic. I'm gonna be me whenever I'm posting stuff, and that's fine. I'm not like, grind like this to shine like that. Like, who cares? Like if you're a good athlete, you work hard. Like, cool. Like, everyone does.
Yeah.
You also have, like, right now, we talked about it last week, Anthony Etchemendia. He had a Flow documentary. He PRs himself a lot, and he's not looking too hot. Lost his wrestle off, lost his last freestyle matches, so, and I don't know if it's tied together. I'm not saying that because he's posting content, that's why he's losing. I'm just saying it's not always, every single person has to evaluate what works for them. And, for some athletes, like, I don't think Cenzo's lazy because he doesn't want to post more. I think he's genuine with what his intent is. I think some athletes look at it like it is a lot of work to get content. There's things I do and people I'm around that I would love to be like, oh, this would be a great picture if there was a photographer right there taking pictures of us talking. I would post the crap out of this and get great engagement. but there's no photographer around. So it is a lot of work. It's not, and I think a guy like Roman is proving that. Like, the opportunity's there if you want that. If you don't, yeah, it's a lot of work to.
Does he pay camera?
I don't know if he does, but
I guess
for,
so, right?
The
You don't
thing
get free
is
camera work.
for a guy like you could definitely find someone in state college who wants to leverage your audience just to gain exposure. Like, you wouldn't have to pay a photographer to get photos. You could say, I've got 30,000 followers. I've got a good audience. I'll put you on my platform and display your work. And then you can go get the paying gig you want. So I think an athlete like you can leverage your audience. And if Roman's doing that, I wouldn't be surprised. He's getting a lot of content, so I don't know if he's paying or not. But if he is, I wouldn't be surprised. It's good stuff. But if I'm a photographer or videographer and I want to get my work out there, I would go to Roman tomorrow. I'd go to you tomorrow and say, look, I'm going to follow you around tomorrow, get good content. All I want you to do is give me photo credit when you post it.
Would you want to get, I'm going to ask this to Matt. Would you be cool getting followed around all day by a photographer?
I mean, personally, I wouldn't want them following me around all day, but if I had like a practice or something I was doing, I would say, all right, I'm going to be here for 2 hours, show up and take pictures if you want, and then we can work from there. But all day, probably not.
Okay. I agree with that. I couldn't have someone just following me around.
Like 3 years ago, I went on a spree of posting a lot of content, and I wanted to try it for a couple of months, just kind of sharing my perspective on things. And one of my BASCH Solutions photographers, what I would do is say, look, I got to go meet with 3 people in a row. Meet me at my loft and come with me for the next 2-3 hours and just take photos the whole time. The problem is I was paying him a lot of money, so it was way too expensive to do it. But it worked out great where it's like, look, I got a meeting at 1, 2, and 3. Meet me in my place at 12:30. Come along with me till 4. You know, it's not necessarily the whole day, but if I could have done that in environments like that for a couple hours and just leverage my platform, everybody wins. Because if you can showcase somebody's work, you can give them a lot of business without paying them. Your platform is worth something. So a lot of the wrestlers and athletes, it's more coordinating than anything. It's being inconvenienced, like you said, like, hey, come tag along for a couple hours, which is what John Broughton's doing for David and Bo for Scrap Life. Like, he's going, he's not necessarily following them around all day, but he's maybe meeting them a half hour before practice, come to practice, hang out after, and then send me some photos. I think any wrestler that has an audience can leverage it for content without potentially paying, because you have a ton of value in putting them on your platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, now that you say that, yeah, that's totally makes sense.
You see chiropractors doing it now too. If you look on social media, you'll see the people, because people love the sound of the popping when you're getting adjusted.
I like the feeling of it.
Well, yeah, my chiropractor has us on retainer, and we have each other on retainer. We help them create a lot of content. It's amazing the things that people want to hear, and the things that people want to see, just the different, because when he became a client and he started teaching me about what chiropractic does, and I really learned it, I was so hooked I became a client, and I've gone to him every week for the last 3 years. It helps my allergies, it helps my breathing, it helps them endless things. And when you start sharing content that conveys that, that's valuable. That's what people want. So we'll sometimes go in there and photograph him for an hour or two as he adjusts people. And if we can get good video, great. If we can get good photos, like, people are surprised when they see a pregnant girl getting adjusted, when they see a newborn getting adjusted. So it provides content. So it's like, all right, we'll photograph you for 2 hours. We'll try to put as much context to it as possible.
Have you attempted to adjust a newborn?
I haven't adjusted a newborn, but I have adjusted. She was probably 4 or 5 years old. I took my pediatrics, and there's another class where you can go and learn how to adjust babies and things like that. And I know as soon as my child is born, I will be adjusting them. It's
Yeah,
like
same.
it's huge. It's so huge, and it's one of the most important things I think that people miss out on. So I will be contacting you about creating content for things like that to market myself once I'm done, because it's huge.
It's the awareness.
What's that?
You can do that content on me also. So you can do that
Right.
content on me.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
so
And
like,
that elevates your content because, like, you should hear this crack and you should hear this crack to Cenzo are two different levels.
Right, exactly.
There'll be some big old pops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
right.
your neck's pretty good, so I can I'll be able to help you out there, and then you'll be able to help me out. It's like a team thing. We're on a team again.
Yes. It's been a while. It's been a while, but I'm ready to be back on the
The
same.
boys are back in town.
We'll get the
Boys
band-
are back in
We'll get the
town.
band back together. All right. What's one of your favorite moments from Penn State wrestling? But
And why is it Cenzo?
and not with you on the mat though.
Not with me on the mat.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite moment wrestling match wise was when Anthony upset Colin Moore that year, and then Nick Neville's went out there and got the job done again.
Which we just talked about literally the last episode.
We talk about
Yeah.
the same stuff all the time, man. Holy smokes. All right.
Right. That was a great experience.
Favorite non-wrestling moment, just like with the team.
Man.
With the team. Maybe traveling or something. Like
It could be dodgeball. It doesn't have to be dodgeball.
It could be Frank.
Oh.
It could be Frank tackling you or something like that.
That was probably one of the scariest moments of... Sorry, I don't know what that...
Think about scary moments. What was that?
That was
I
wild.
don't know. I might have to change rooms. It sounds like somebody's working out here. So, do you guys know that story about Frank?
I don't know.
So, Frank, we're playing dodgeball my true freshman year, so I'm still a young buck, and Frank runs across the line and drills somebody in the back. So, I thought he was like messing around, and I grab a ball and I run across the line, and I'm running at him. He turns around and I hit him as hard as I could in the back, and he starts chasing me, and I'm thinking it's a game.
You hit
and
him
I'm
with a
laughing.
dodgeball, right?
A dodgeball, yeah. And I start thinking it's a game, and he's chasing me around, and I'm laughing, and and I get to the wall, and I turn around, and he double legs me, picks me up, and slams me on the ground, and says, "Mess with the bull, you get the horns."
No.
And went and sat down in the bleachers, and was pissed. And I was like, I thought we were joking around, but once I realized he was actually mad at me, I was like, man, I'm sorry, Frank. I mean, to hit you with the dodgeball.
He's just a competitor.
It was that like, did that end it right there, or was there like a beef going on now?
No, me and Frank are. I consider Frank one of my good friends.
No,
I mean,
but like right then and there after that, like you go to the bleachers, he's pissed. You say sorry, like was it instantly over?
Yeah, it was instantly over.
Okay.
Like nothing else happened.
No, you guys. They had a feud for a few years. Yeah.
I didn't know if there was a hidden feud we didn't know about.
Yeah, the McCutcheon.
No, we did not have a
McCutcheon
feud.
Molinaro beef. I hear it's almost as big as the Minnesota beef. You guys don't know a lot about Minnesota beef.
No,
No,
I
I
don't.
That was another thing. All right, I'll tell the story. I'm gonna be throwing guys under the bus here. Holy smokes!
That's all right.
Last year, Mason Manville wrestled Taylor Venz in a match, and let's keep this in mind. Mason Manville wrestles 165, and he was wrestling 84. I think Taylor Venz beat him. Probably like a 5-2 match, something like that. I don't know, but Mason wrestles hard. He's gonna be in your face the whole time. And after the match, Venz like screams, gets all pumped up, and like is like yelling in Mason's face. And Mason, one of the most level-headed, chill guys I've ever met.
I had a great sauna experience with him. I'll tell you that story in a second.
He goes to Venz. He goes, what's your deal, bro? He goes, Minnesota beef. So, so that's that. Yeah, that's where that comes from. So, almost as real as that.
Minnesota beef.
Yeah, never heard of that one.
Yeah, so
No.
like apparently people out there, I don't know, everyone seems really friendly out in the middle. There's beef out there.
Everybody I've experienced in the Midwest is extremely like overkind.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, what's that? You're robbing a house? Let me help you. Let me help you load the truck.
Oh, that's funny.
So, what would you say is your favorite non-wrestling moment then at Penn State?
That one.
Clearly, you tackling Frank wasn't your favorite. So, what was your favorite? Or Frank tackling you?
Yeah, he tackled me. That was probably one of the least fun times I had. But other than playing dodgeball and hanging out with the guys, I think funny story. This isn't my favorite memory, but the one time Coach Kell had us draw us winning with pudding. Did you guys talk about that ever?
No.
No.
Cenzo, you remember that?
No.
the one year he brought snack packs and paintbrushes and we drew ourselves winning.
And pudding.
I think that's when
Is this real life?
Yeah. Yeah.
We usually use like crayons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, at the end of it, he was like, well, that didn't go how I really wanted it to, so we won't be doing that again. But one of the funniest things in the world, people are eating the snack packs with the paintbrush instead of painting themselves winning.
Probably right before practice. So.
Yeah.
What
But
about
what
your favorite
What's that?
Zane story?
Oh, boy. So the one time we were downtown and it was like 10, 11 o'clock. And when Zane's done with something, like he just wants to be home.
I get
And
that. I feel
yeah.
that.
So we were just hanging out and he looks at me and goes, hey, I'm about to get out of here. I'm gonna run home. And it's like, it's many miles away.
I was there.
Yeah. We're like
3 miles from your house at like 11:30 p.m. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm like, Zane, just no, don't do that. We'll drive you home and you'll be fine. He's like, no, like you guys don't have to leave. I'll just run home.
He was wearing like cowboy boots, probably.
Zane takes off his shirt and then runs home. And then he goes to bed. You see him the next morning. He's like, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I just wanted to get a workout in before I go to bed.
help me sleep a little bit.
Right.
Where were you guys? Was he in sneakers at least?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And like,
no.
We were just hanging out. I mean, it wasn't like anything crazy is happening, but Zane being Zane. And when he's done with something, he's done. So
I love that. I mean, I'd Uber personally, but I love
Right.
the notion.
Right.
That was offered to him also, but the run just sounded the best at the time.
But it's such a Zane thing. There's too many Zane stories. I wish I would have prepared some of them.
He told me one time that he had a camp that was like 4 hours from here, and he drove there in the morning, did the camp, drove back, didn't listen to the radio at all. His car was dead silent for the entire time. He just wanted to see if he could do it.
Right. Oh, that leads me to a good Zane story. Zane introduced me to this when we would go home from practice or we'd be on like a long car ride. Zane would want to see who would brake first. So he'd put up all the windows and lock them and then turn the heat as high as it could go. and he would crank the heat until someone broke. And Zane doesn't brake, so it had to be me or I'm gonna back that.
How hot did it
had
get?
to be me, yeah.
Very hot. Like we're like dead winter time, so we have our coats on in the car, and so he cranks it up, and then like after like 20 minutes in a heated car, you're like, all right, let's turn it down a little bit. But that guy,
how does that conversation start? Like, hey, you know what? Let's see who can last the longest in the heat.
Just like that. Yeah. That's exactly what you would expect, like from Zane. That you're sitting there talking, and he'd be like, "All right, well, I challenge you. Let's do it." I'm like, "Okay, Zane."
You can't just say no.
Right.
No.
Why don't you ever challenge him to eat a peanut butter mayo sandwich?
Oh, come on. Don't put me on blast.
Peanut butter mayo sandwich, is that a real thing?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, you have to now. It's brought up. It's public knowledge. Explain this to me.
Okay. I'll start. I saw Matt eat a peanut butter mayo sandwich one time. That's
Matt, were you hungry? Like, do you like? I love mayo, but like, what went into that? Is that a regular thing? Like, is that a regular?
you probably thought it was like marshmarshmallow fluff or
No,
something.
like I don't do it anymore. But
So it was a college thing. It was your version of ramen noodles.
right. Yeah. Well, it was my mom's fault. I blame her. She used to eat them, and I don't know how she got the idea, but she made me try it one time. I was like, well, it's not bad. And it's like,
imagine the first time can somebody listening to this podcast, please, we will send you a free Coffee Talk shirt.
We'll send you a peanut butter mayo sandwich.
No, we'll send you if you're listening and you send us a video eating a peanut butter mayo sandwich, the first person to do it, upload a video, tag me, Matt, and Cenzo of you eating a peanut butter and mayo sandwich. We're going to send you a Coffee Talk shirt and a Coffee Talk mug.
Damn.
Let's go.
Because I can't fathom what I've done some weird stuff with mayo. I've dipped French fries in mayo.
That's
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine my first bite of a peanut butter mayo sandwich.
I would like a taste analysis also in this video. Not just
Zane tried it. Ask Zane, because I got him to try, because he used to they used to film me when I would make it.
How many peanut butter mayo sandwiches would you say you've had?
I don't want to talk about it.
Like hundreds, dozens, or hundreds?
Rough estimate.
No, less than that, definitely.
So it's dozens or less than dozens?
I would say dozens would be.
How many digits?
A lot of many digits.
Oh
three digits.
Right.
So we're at hundreds of sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, no, come on. I don't think I.
When was the last time you had one? Be honest.
Not anytime recently. Probably about a year or 2 years.
Okay. I mean, a year is kind of recent. Like, depending on what it is, I did it a year ago. Is kind of like it's still relevant.
I did it a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I did it in 2020.
There could have been something better brought up.
You're just actually waiting to go home. You got like two ready.
No, my wife would kick my butt if I had a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich now.
Has she ever had one?
No, she would never. She comes from a family that eats really healthy. So that's the reason that I'm starting to eat healthy now, because she makes my food and helps me out with it.
Nice.
If I tried to convince her to have a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich, she might throw up.
I like that from her too.
Yeah.
I figured that would happen, and you'd be put on the health train.
So picture this for the last chance qualifier: the Baschamania logo here with a peanut butter mayo sandwich underneath it.
And you're gonna be in shape by then too.
Right. Yeah. I have until April, right?
You need to do what Cal did. Didn't Cal say if you guys win NCAAs, I'll go to the World Team Trials?
Yes.
So if you, one of the second best teams ever, win, that should be the stipulation.
That I have to go to World Team Trials.
You have to go to the last chance qualifier for the World Team Trials if you guys win. Is
anybody allowed to just show up?
I'm pretty sure it's like an open tournament. Yeah.
He's like, dang, I actually have to wrestle in this.
Would it not be worth it? They always win. If you beat them, would it not be worth it? What's the worst that can happen? You get your butt whooped and you have a peanut butter mayo sandwich.
It'll be fun. You get to go out and wrestle. You'll see like me and Mark.
Yeah.
And there's a good shot I'm going, so I will be there with a peanut butter mayo sandwich for you after.
I don't want peanut butter mayo.
We don't gotta tell your wife.
No, you want this. You want the singlet with the sandwich on it.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like dripping. Like there's peanut butter dripping on one side and mayo dripping on the other.
Get that mayo drip.
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, I might have to make the deal with them.
Let's go.
That's what I'm
But then
talking about.
You guys are gonna have to start rooting for life then.
Oh, 100%.
I'm huge life supporter.
All right, then. Oh man,
How can
I meant like living.
How can we get some life apparel? If we're going to support, we need some life apparel.
Oh, I can make that happen.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
I'll trade you life
Done
shirt
deal.
for coffee talk shirt.
You know, maybe.
Done deal. We'll
All
send
right.
you coffee
Perfect.
talk shirt,
Can
mug.
we get these?
Yeah.
Can we get these for our next show or one of our future shows, like in the near future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get your sizes after this, and I'll get them sent your way.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Love
All
it.
right. Well,
New fresh gear and the return of Matt McCutcheon, potentially.
potentially.
You know that every Penn
For
State
sure.
fan is going to be rooting for Life University now.
I hope so.
Because who's not going to want to see you get back on the mat?
I mean,
So this is official.
Yeah. This
Official.
is official.
If life
I'm
wins,
in.
Matt is doing the last chance. Okay.
Yeah.
we gotta.
When is the
See,
it-
I will hype this up on social media.
Yeah. Is it a
It's not
dual
me.
meet or is it a tournament?
It's a tournament. It's the same style as Division One.
And
How
when
many-
is it?
First or second week in March. I'll have to double check that.
Okay. So it's
Are
going to be
you guys like a hammer team or just like depth? Or like, you know,
No, we have some studs on our team.
nice.
This is by far the best team I think we've had since I've been down here. So Omi's doing a good job with our guys, and I'm excited to see him wrestle. So I mean, we have a legit shot at doing it. I
Hey,
think
5 champs wins it. So
5 champs wins.
no, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like if you can put 5 in the finals, you have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, and NAI is a little different too. So you can take 12 guys, so they don't all have to be at the same weight.
Oh, wow.
Or so you can take 2 at the same weight, and you don't have to take every weight. So we can take our 12 best guys.
That's pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, it's cool. It's been nice my 5th year.
Yeah, it would have been sick. You would have been like this though, right?
Yeah, in a sling.
You would have been like this.
But yeah, all right. Well, I'm in.
Cool.
I
I
love it.
am.
It's a
I'm
done
in,
deal.
so.
I can't wait. I can't wait to rep the gear. I can't wait to squeeze. I'm looking it up now. It looks like it's March 5th and 6th.
Can't wait to squeeze. We're gonna get some collar ties, some low
Pull-
ankles.
Pull them around, baby.
Pull them around right into that low ankle shot. Yes, sir.
Man, I wish it was within driving distance. Wichita, Kansas, it looks like it's at.
Yeah, that's a little far, huh?
Yeah.
It's a little far from State College. I don't think I'll make the trip for that one.
Who knows if they'll even let fans in at this point?
This is true. Is it streamed anywhere?
We're not fans.
Yeah.
We're media.
I'll get the stream for you. I know Track Wrestling does something with it usually, so
Love it.
we'll get the stream. The finals are usually on TV too.
I love it.
All right.
Sweet.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Sounds like that's a wrap.
We got the done deal then.
I love
All
it. What a successful podcast.
So we got Life. The hot take of the day is Life University is coming out on top.
Yep.
We got a long way to go till then, but we're looking
If
forward. We're looking forward.
they
to
do
it.
they do it, I'm in. So we
And-
got to start.
They win that. Matt's back on the mat.
In a Baschamania peanut butter mayo sandwich singlet.
I think that's
Let's
the best,
go.
That's the best part too. All right, guys.
All right, guys. We're ending on a good note.
Let's
That's
do it.
Baschamania. See you guys. And that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. If you did enjoy this episode of the podcast, be sure to leave a 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more episodes. For more wrestling content, be sure to follow Baschmania on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And follow me. I'm at JBash on Instagram and at JustinJBash on Twitter.
And the beat goes on. 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 On.